As someone who has studied World War II numerous times and read about the many atrocities committed during it, nothing has ever been felt or hit me as hard as this movie did. Schindler's List was one of the most emotional, tear-jerking movies I've ever watched. It takes you on a roller coaster and brings to life horrors that simple words on a page just can't do justice to. But how does it specifically do that? Well, Steven Spielberg instantly sets you in the time period by having produced this entire 3.5 hour movie in black and white. I also like to think of this choice as a symbol for good and evil, as during the film, everything shown was always an act of good or one of evil. No gray area, just a struggle between the light and the dark. Another concept that both the book and the movie do well is pacing. You're never left watching the same scene for too long. Even the book has short chapters that jump around in setting and time, progressively showing you the story from multiple views. In the movie, that is best exemplified when we see cross-cuts of Schindler, Nazi officer Goethe, and a Jewish couple being married, all in different places at once, but all developing the story. One thing that only the film can show off, however, is camera angles, and through them, facial expressions and emotions. A scene of this would be when Commandant Goethe is looking over his camp with a high-angle shot from behind, expressing his power over everything and how he believes himself to be a higher being. Speaking of Goethe, another powerful camera angle is the close-up, one which we look through when Goethe is trying to not use his power through killing, but rather fear and intimidation. In this scene, we watch him stare in the mirror and without words can physically see him revert to his dark state of killing through his expressions. In the decision of preference over these formats of the story, the main aspect that sways me is the portrayal of Oskar Schindler by Liam Neeson over his description in the book. Throughout the novel, it feels that Schindler was always trying to save the Jews, but in the film, his arc of compassion is much clearer and more heartfelt. His arc as a person is completed when he finishes his arc of saved Jews when the war ends. The scene when he is crying, saying he could have saved, quote, just one more, after the war is ended and all his money is gone, is touching and just wasn't the same in the book. The story ends with him having saved 1,200 doomed Jews by employing them as, quote, essential workers in his factory, when in the end, they were just simple people. So finally, would I keep or cut this movie and book? I believe Oscar's story is a piece of history that everyone needs to see, not just because of his actions, but also due to the brutality of some of the scenes and how nothing else I've ever come across has shown me the true nature and evil in the acts of the Nazis. For these reasons, I would wholeheartedly keep this combination, and if I could, make it a necessary text for all to read. Thank you.